Somewhere in the Indian Ocean, a U.S. Navy submarine went silent. The crew didn't speak. They watched a single dot on their sonar screen. An Iranian warship, thousands of miles from home. And it had no idea it was already dead. On March 4, 2026, 6 days into Operation Epic Fury, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed what most military analysts thought they'd never see. A United States Navy fast-attack submarine operating in the Indian Ocean off Sri Lanka stalked an Iranian warship and destroyed it with a single torpedo. Hegseth's exact words at the Pentagon briefing yesterday: in the Indian Ocean, an American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo. Quiet death. The first sinking of an enemy ship by a torpedo since World War II. The ship was the IRIS Dena, an Iranian Mauj-class frigate assigned to Iran's southern fleet. 180 sailors were on board. 32 were rescued by Sri Lankan naval personnel. The rest did not make it. The IRIS Dena sank in minutes. To understand why this strike was so devastating, you need to understand the weapon that delivered it. The Mark 48 Advanced Capability Torpedo, ADCAP. It costs $4.2 million per unit. It carries a 650-pound warhead, and it does not hit the ship directly. Former U.S. submarine commander Thomas Shugart explained it this way: this torpedo detonated underneath the stern and lifted it up out of the water. The Mark 48 is designed to detonate beneath the keel, the spine of the ship. It creates a massive underwater vapor bubble. That bubble expands and collapses faster than the ship can respond. The keel bends. The hull fractures. The ship breaks in half from underneath. There is no countermeasure. There is no evasion. Once a Mark 48 locks on, the ship is already gone. Shugart said it plainly. The gloves really are off. But here's the detail that should terrify every Iranian military commander still standing. The submarine that fired that torpedo was not in the Persian Gulf. It was not in the Strait of Hormuz. It was in the Indian Ocean, off the coast of Sri Lanka, thousands of miles from Iranian waters. The IRIS Dena had been conducting naval exercises in the Bay of Bengal, far from the conflict zone. Iran assumed distance meant safety. It was wrong. General Dan Khan, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, put it in terms that no Iranian admiral could ignore. This is an incredible demonstration of America's global reach. To hunt, find, and kill an out-of-area deployer. That is something only the United States can do at this type of scale. A U.S. fast-attack submarine can deploy for months without surfacing. It moves without radar signature, without radio contact, without a wake. It is, for all practical purposes, invisible until the moment it chooses not to be. The IRIS Dena never had a chance, and neither does any other Iranian ship still at sea. This operation is still unfolding. Subscribe and hit the bell. We cover every development here before it reaches mainstream news. Let's pause on the historical weight of what just happened. The last time a U.S. Navy submarine sank an enemy warship with a torpedo was 1945, the final year of World War II. Before the atomic bomb, before NATO, before the Cold War. For 81 years, no. American submarine had fired a torpedo in anger at an enemy surface combatant. That record ended in the Indian Ocean on the night of March 3, 2026, the only comparable moment in modern history. 1982, the Falklands War. British submarine HMS Conqueror fired a torpedo and sank the Argentine cruiser General Belgrano. That was the only other time a nuclear-powered submarine had ever done this. The United States just joined that list, and it didn't do it in a small conflict over disputed islands. It did it in the middle of the largest American military campaign since the Gulf War. The IRIS Dena was not an isolated target. General Kane confirmed that, as of March 4th, The United States has struck over 2,000 targets across Iran and has destroyed more than 20 Iranian naval vessels. 20 ships gone. Kane's assessment. Operation Epic Fury has effectively neutralized, at this point in time, Iran's major naval presence in theater. Iran spent decades and billions of dollars building a naval force designed to threaten U.S. carrier groups in the Persian Gulf, to close the Strait of Hormuz, to hold the global oil supply hostage. In 6 days, it no longer exists as a fighting force. Iran's response? Missiles and drone swarms aimed at U.S. bases in Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE. 7 American service members have been killed. Hegseth acknowledged more losses are expected. But here is what Iran's retaliation reveals. They are firing at fixed targets they can see. The United States is sinking ships Iran didn't know were being tracked. Those are not equal exchanges. Iran thought distance was protection. That a ship in the Indian Ocean, thousands of miles from any declared conflict zone, was beyond America's reach. 1 submarine, 1 torpedo, $4.2 million. 81 years of waiting ended in minutes. General Kane said it better than any headline could. For the first time since 1945, a United States Navy fast-attack submarine has sunk an enemy combatant ship. The message to every Iranian warship still at sea is simple. There is no safe water. There is only water the United States hasn't reached yet. Want to know what America has left to deploy and what Iran is left to fight with? The full breakdown is right here.